I'm going to talk about how to fit simple smoothing methods in Excel. So here I have a time series data and I will demonstrate how to fit moving averages and exponential smoothing on this data. To fit the moving average or exponential smoothing model, make sure that your data is following a horizontal pattern, something like this. If I show you, yeah, something like this, it's constant around some mean. Now how to fit the moving averages? So for example, to calculate the moving average, it's nothing but the average of the past n observation. So if you want to calculate 2 period moving average, okay, if you want to calculate 2 period moving average, that means that moving average will be applicable for the third period. So 2 period moving average will be nothing but the average of past two values, sorry, b1 plus b2 divided by 2, or you can use the average function, but I'm just telling here for the demonstration purpose. So like this we calculate the moving average. Now how to use Excel's inbuilt function? To go for that, go to data and go to data analysis, choose data analysis. If it is not appearing, you have to go to file and option and enable this add-in. Now here you will see moving average, click OK. It is asking what is the input range. So the input range is our time series. Make sure that you only select the data, not the ID, and hit enter. It contains labels in the first row. So here I have selected labels in the first row. So the label is sales. Now it is asking interval. Basically, what is the moving average interval? Is it 2 period moving average? Is it 3 period? So let's say if I select it as 2. Now the choice of moving average is not, there are no thumb rules for that, sorry, defined rules for that, but what we do is we uh, fit the data using different moving average, let's say 2, 3, 4, and then find out which moving average is giving the least error. Now it is asking what is the output range. Now in Excel, what you need to do is select the output range as the second, starting from the second data point onward. Okay, so not here, not here, or not here. What you need to do is select the output range from the second data point onwards, be it 3 period moving average, be it 4 period moving average. Always select the starting point as the second data point for the output range and hit OK, and then click OK here. So you will see that it will calculate the moving average here, and this is the forecasted value for the 11th time period. Sorry, this one. Okay, so here I'm going to write 2 period moving average. Let's calculate for 3 period moving average. So again, go to choose data, data analysis, moving average, hit OK. By default it is selecting the same time series, which is fine. Label in the first row, yes. The interval is 3. Now the output range I want in this column. Okay, and I told you that always select the second data point. The starting point for the output range should be the second data point of the data. So here I have selected that, click OK, and you will get the 3 period moving average. So for 3 period moving average, we will be able to forecast from 4th period onwards. So this is how you calculate the moving average here. And if you want to calculate error, that also you can calculate. So error is nothing but, let's see if I want to calculate the error for 2 period moving average. Now that error will be for 2 period moving average, it will be actual value minus predicted value, or sometimes people do predicted minus actual. Either way is fine. Okay, and if you don't want to get into plus and minus sign kind of a thing, you can use the absolute function. So let's say if I choose this actual minus predicted value as the error, you can generate for all the data points except for the forecast, obviously. And then you can calculate the mean square error. Mean square error, MSE, for 2 period moving average. It is nothing but average of the square of errors. So square of errors will be, sorry, it will be square of this. Okay, And what will be the MSE? MSE will be, mean square error will be the average of square of the errors. So here it is, sorry, yeah, F1 plus F2, which is fine. Here the error is 0, perfect forecast here. And similarly you can calculate the error for 3 period moving average. Okay, now for 3 period moving average you can't calculate the error for this particular value, okay, because nothing is forecasted, but we can calculate the error for this particular times data point, which is actual minus predicted. Sorry, this is going to be this data point, okay, because it's 3 period moving average. You can drag it and then calculate the average of, sorry, for mean square error, basically MSE for 3 period moving average, it will be nothing but square of all these numbers, all the errors, okay, and their average. So 69.84. So like this you can calculate the mean square error for every data point. Based on mean square error, this particular moving average method with 3 periods is appearing to be the best, because it gives you the lowest error, and that is how you can make a decision. You can also make the decision based on mean absolute percentage error. Now for that I am just going to delete these two columns, okay, because now I just want to demonstrate how to calculate the mean absolute percentage error, let's say for 2 period moving average. The mean absolute percentage error, what we do, we take the error value, sorry, absolute of the error value divided by the actual value and multiplied by 100. So this is the absolute error in percentage for this particular data point, and I can drag it for all. To calculate the mean absolute percentage error, that will be nothing but the average of all these numbers. So average of all these, so 6.67, 1%, okay, because we have multiplied by 100 here. Similarly I can calculate the MAPE for 3 period moving average. So for that, the same thing, it is the absolute value of error divided by the actual value of at that data point multiplied by 100. So this is the absolute percentage error for this data point. Drag it, and to calculate the mean absolute percentage error, that will be nothing but the average of all absolute percentage errors, which is 6.32. So based on absolute percentage error or MAPE, the 3 period moving average is coming out to be best. Your results may be different for different error measures. So if someone asks you to select one particular model, what you need to do is you have to first fix the error metric. Sometimes people prefer MAPE, sometimes people prefer MSE. So this is how we fit the moving average model, and we calculate the errors. Now I'm going to demonstrate how to fit the exponential smoothing method. So exponential smoothing method. For that, again, go to data, data analysis and exponential smoothing. The input range is this one. The label, because it contains label in the first row, that's why I've selected it. Now it is asking damping factor. Damping factor is 1 minus exponential smoothing factor. So if your exponential smoothing factor is 0.2, then your damping factor will become 0.8. In Excel, it doesn't take the smoothing constant as is or smoothing factor. It takes the damping factor as the input. So damping factor, again I'm repeating, it is 1 minus smoothing constant or smoothing factor. Now output range, in this case you can start from the first data point of the your time series in the output range and click OK, and it has fitted the exponential smoothing method, exponential uh, moving average with smoothing constant 0.2, but the damping factor will be 0.8. And then you can drag it the last data point to find out the forecasted value for the 11th time period. This is how it's done. It will not give you the forecasted value like it gives in the moving average. To calculate the forecasted value, you have to drag the formula in the last cell. Similarly, I can calculate the exponential smoothing average, or for let's say alpha equal to 0.3. For that, go to data analysis, exponential smoothing, all the things are pre-selected. Damping factor should be 0.7, and output range, now I must change it to D2, because in this column I want the output, and we have to select the first data point as the starting point of the output range. And in case of moving average, we select the second data point as the starting point of the output range. Hit OK, and then you will get the forecasted value. Now to get the forecasted value for the 11th week, just drag the formula in the last cell, and it will give you that the forecasted value for the 11th week. Now you can perform the same calculations that I just demonstrated, how to calculate error. You can calculate the MAPE here also, MSE here also, and you have to try with different exponential smoothing methods, these constants, that which one works best for your data.